All right, we are slowly getting everyone rolling in. Got about, how long will this go for? Javier, it'll be about 30, 35 minutes in total. And then, we'll be going through a few things first, and then we'll be taking you through a nice little circuit relevant to the stuff that we would probably be doing that mimics a bit of cricket. Kai, we are definitely not having a shower, as Stubbsy said. You might want to have one after it though, but get your towel. So yes, as Stubbsy said, you will need a towel for those of you joining on Facebook in our group, and also here on our live stream or our live webinar with Stubbsy. I will just decrease this volume so I've got both of them for me. All right, so first of all, welcome Stubbsy. Thanks very much for coming on. I'll get you to give a little bit of a background on what you do shortly, and then obviously the aim of the session, because you're basically the expert in this field, and that's the beauty of what we like to do here at the ACI. We aren't by any means experts. You know, I've been through a lot of stuff. Well, actually been, you've done stuff with me and sessions with me, but I'm not an experienced strength and conditioning coach. And the thing with what we do is we are the cricket experts. We're not the strength and conditioning experts, the nutrition experts, the psychology experts, and everything like that. We like to bring these people in. So you obviously have a close tie with cricket as well. So maybe just give us a bit of a background of what your experiences are and sort of how you're working with cricket and what you do. And then, what the aim of, I guess, today is, and I guess how important the conditioning and strength aspect is in cricket.
I'm definitely going to forget half of those questions, but a bit of background. I've always been a pretty enthusiastic sportsman. Any sport that I could play when I was growing up, I was always interested in, and I always tried to do. I was never a master of one. I was a jack of all, which meant that my schooling, I was keen to, I looked through what I could do at university, and I picked the first one that said sport, and that was sports science. So I did a Bachelor of Exercise and Sports Science, which gave me a broad knowledge base that I could then apply into strength conditioning would be the job title I would use. So essentially my job is to assist you guys to physically develop yourselves to become more athletic. And if you are a more athletic individual, that will likely play off in helping you execute your skills.
Perfect. And sort of you obviously have the beauty of being, I guess, well versed in cricket, because you play cricket, you know cricket really well, and you're a cricket coach. Specific fast bowling and everything like that. How does that this side of the strength and science part impact on the coaching aspect and vice versa?
Yeah, for me it's massive. I coach off what I call 4 pillars. You've got sort of like your physical pillar, you've got your mental pillar, you've got your technical pillar, and then you've got your tactics and skills. So I sort of do most of my work is in that physical pillar, and with the fast bowling stuff in that technical pillar. So having a background in sports science meant that I was able to understand a lot of the biomechanics and stuff that goes along with some of the fast bowling technique. And as a fast bowler all-rounder myself, I was really passionate about that. And my playing career was hampered with stress fractures and sort of stuff. When I first went down to district cricket, I played my first 3 years as a batsman. I didn't bowl. And I think one of my 4th game in the seconds, when the opening bowler hurt himself, and I played my first game as a bowler open bowling, which when I managed to get myself back into it. And,
Awesome. And how important does this play in that injury prevention? And from kids at this age, is it really important for 12, 13, 14-year-olds to start thinking about this stuff?
I think that's the best time to start thinking about it, especially when it comes to fast bowling technique, or just anything that could potentially cause injuries. When we look at performance, that comes secondary to injury reduction, okay? Because you can't perform if you're not on the field.
Absolutely.
Okay. A lot of what we do is to first get guys on the field and then get guys when they're on the field fit to perform on the field. The two definitely go hand in hand, but I think it's really important that, you know, from that injury reduction point of view, that you make sure that that is something that you emphasize. And given what's happening now at the moment, since we don't have the same access to facilities and equipment, we have to adapt so that we continue to take care of the physical side so that our body is going to be well prepared when we can finally get back into group activities.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a key thing. How you can't just sit dormant in this time and then expect to go back. You know, even footy like now, it's probably the hardest thing for them because you know, they're in that middle part of they've done their pre-season, they're in the maintenance side, but now it makes it really hard. So yeah, valid points. You know, we stress a really heavy emphasis on educating, you know, the young kids in our academy programs and doing these things right, and that's why we're bringing you in to chat it, but also, as we said, to actually give the boys and girls here some sort of tangible experience in learning how to do it. So I guess over to you. You're going to be running the interval stuff and the activity. So I'll take a back seat in this one, but I'll watch on and like we said, once the session's done, we might even open it up to a couple of questions for the boys and girls at the end. But just give them a bit of an understanding of what they probably need to do now. As people are aware or may be aware, we are actually going to be doing these activities. So Stubbsy here is going to be instructing you, and you're going to be doing this in your home. So make sure right now you have a bit of space to move around and you put your computer or your tablet or your phone or whatever, you will be able to do it because we are going to be getting stuck in shortly. So over to you, Stubbsy.
Yeah, so to give you guys a brief explanation of what we're going to do, given it's a 20-minute session, how I've sort of mapped it out is going to take you through 3 little circuits. Now, we might only get through 1 or 2 sets of each. If you were to go and do this another time, and you could do that on your own, and the session would last a bit longer. So what I want to teach you is a couple of, I guess, athletic performance sorts of things that I would take guys through. So we're going to do some jumping, we're going to do some plyometrics, we're going to look at how we impact the ground with our feet, and then a couple of exercises as well, okay, body weight. And I'll show you at the end while we've got the towel. So give yourself some space, guys, while I attempt to set this up so you can see my whole body. Now, I'm not going to take you guys through much of a warm-up just because I'd rather focus on the more important stuff. But when you do your own stuff, you can give yourself enough time to make yourself feel warm. So, very quick warm-up. We're just going to go through a couple of squats to get the body moving. Maybe 8, 10, something just to move yourself around. You can also go through just something for your hamstrings, loosen up part of your hips, inchworm, exercise I quite enjoy. Get yourself a nice stretch down, have done it down the ground, walk yourself out. You can then do a push-up, then come back. Walk yourself out. Push up, then come back. And we go through 1 more of those. So just something to get some movement going from get going. Now, the first thing I want you to do is just going to be walking on the spot, and we're going to emphasize pushing into the ground with the top part of our foot, okay? So I'm pushing down in the ground like this, okay? Now this is important because when we do our jumps next, this is how I want you to impact the ground to spring back up, okay? So our first exercise is a plyometric. We're looking to create a spring in our ankles to help us to project in the air. So you should feel some of your calves starting to work. All right, that's what we're after. Hopefully by now you can feel yourself pushing down into the ground. Now, the first we're going to do is called a double leg pogo hop. So we're going to set ourselves up. I'll do it sideways and I'll do it front waist to give you guys a demo. And we're just going to be bouncing up as high as we can, okay? You'll do 5 to 10 of these, trying to get as high as you possibly can. Now, what we don't want to do is jump, hit the ground, our heels come down into the floor. We want to make sure we keep those heels away from the ground, okay? And that's why we use this top part of our foot to spring up. Okay, that's your spring. So that exercise there is a plyometric. It's a sort of exercise you can do at the start to help you to get that springiness out of your ankles. The next one we're going to do is a jump. So we start standing tall, but there's two parts to this jump. First, I'm going to drop down into a quarter squat. Then I'm going to jump up into the air as high as I can. Okay, so I've got a drop, and then spring up into the air as high as you can. A drop, spring up into the air as high as you can. Okay, you might do 3 to 6 sort of rounds of that. In doing this, there will be some rest periods, but I will attempt to give you guys a couple of extra exercises instead of rest periods. So we'll go 3 more of those. Step 1, drop and jump. And again, drop, jump. Okay, 1 more, drop, jump. Cool. So next one, last one for this sort of circuit. You might need a bit of space to move side to side. I'm going to start on one leg and I'm going to jump out this way. And I want to make sure I've got pressure through that top part of my foot. Okay, my heels are my brakes. The front part of my foot is my accelerator. So I've got weight on the top part of my foot, jump to the side, and I'm trying to land on that top part of my foot. Okay, my forefoot. I'm going to push back, 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 back. I'm just springing from side to side. And I'm practicing being on that top part of my foot. Okay? Now you might wonder why that's important. So these drills here, we're getting ourselves into this position here. Well, if you're a batsman, you're probably in a relatively similar position here like that. When you're fielding, you're coming in, setting yourself. And we all know as a fielder, if our weight's back on our heels, we have to first get that weight forward before we can start moving. Okay? So we're going to train some of these specific things to get quicker. We'll go through 3 more each side. Practice, jump, jump, jump. See how you go if you can sort of hold that for a little bit. I'm probably rushing a little bit. My balance isn't as good as it should be. Cool. All right, so that's our first circuit. Now that's your power, I guess sort of circuit to start, where you can do a bit of a plyometric. You can Google that term later on if you want, and some jumps. Okay, so we're looking at being quite explosive. The next one we're going to do is a bodyweight circuit for our legs. Now I've got a mat here. It's nice and pink. It's not mine, but I don't mind the colour. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go through a reverse lunge. Okay, so setting ourselves up on our mat. I'm going to step one leg back as far as I can, come all the way down to the ground, and come back up. All right, so if you guys are doing it with me, I can't actually see you, but if you guys are, on my count, we're going to go for our first one. Okay, so one leg back, 1, touch the ground, come back together. 2, step back, touch the ground, come back together. 3, step back, touch the ground, come back together. 4, step back, touch the ground, come back together. So we're trying to do this nice, slow control so we can maintain our position. If we try and go too quickly, we might start to lose balance. So we want to make sure we maintain the technique of the movement. We're going to go through 10 more, 5 each side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Next exercise I'm going to go through is an arabesque. Now this one can be a bit tricky, so what we're going to do is we're going to hold ourselves in that Superman type position. Okay, so I'm putting my pressure through one leg, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to lean forward and take the back leg back as far as I possibly can and come back together. Now I want you guys to try and practice the first one. You go out, if I get my balance, hold yourself back here and hold yourself in this position. You can put your arms over your head if you want to, but this sort of position here See if you can get some balance, and then come back together. Okay? So if you can hold yourself in that sort of Superman type position, it should make it easier for you to then go through and do the movement. You should start to feel it in the hamstring, come back together. Now let's see how we go doing, we'll go for 5 each side and try and hold it at the top for 3 seconds. Okay, so the hold at the top is going to help us to keep the movement technically right. So 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, other side, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. You notice I'm trying to look straight down to keep my balance. If you're finding yourselves a bit unbalanced, try and keep your eyes dead still, your head still. It should help. Oh, got that time. 1, 2, 3. 2 more. 1, 2, 3. 1 more. 1, 2, 3. Now, our third exercise is called a glute march. We're going to set ourselves up lying down on a mat, on the floor, on the grass. From here, I'm going to keep my whole upper body flat on the ground. I'm going to slide my heels up to where my fingertips are, to here. From here, I'm going to pick my hips up off the ground while rolling my pelvis underneath. Okay, so I'm rolling myself underneath. Now this is here, I'm going to squeeze my glutes. Okay, your glutes are your butt muscles, these big strong pelvic muscles here. And I'm going to take one leg up off the ground. Now the trick here is I'm trying to keep my hips as still as I possibly can and back down. Okay, so really trying to keep your hips from wobbling around as I pick one leg up off the ground, go to the other side, back down. Leg up, back down. Trying to keep those hips really, really stable. Back down. Leg up, 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 back down. Really find that you sit stable. Back down. 2 more each side. Back down. And 1 more. Up, back down. Up, back down. Cool. So that's our lower body circuit. We've got a bit of time. We might go through that once more. So starting with our reverse lunge. If you're all doing it with me, it's kind of funny watching it and having no feedback on who's actually doing it. So step back as far as you can, touch the ground, come back together. Step back as far as you can, touch the ground, back together. Step back as far as you can, touch the ground, come back together. Now, if you guys are doing this on your own, you're looking at doing at least 10 reps each side. Now, if you're looking at a way to add some load to this, you can fill up a grocery bag. I'm sure most parents have something like that. You can put some books in it. You can hold it at the front. Step back. Step back. So once you can do, I'd probably say up to 20 each side. You can find some creative ways to add some load to yourself. That's one way. I'm sure most guys have some school books or something, or a backpack they can load up and keep going. So back to our best. And what we're looking for here again is that nice straight line between your head all the way down your spine to your hips all the way down your leg. Okay? So this time, we're going to try and keep it smooth all the way through. So smooth control as we go into our Superman position and then come back. So we're not trying to rush it too quick. If you rush it, it can be more difficult to keep your balance. And back together. We'll just do 5 weights side here, and back together. Now, one thing you might notice when you're doing this is it's natural for your hips to want to open up like this, okay? I want you to make sure you roll that in here, okay? So it's this position I'm looking for with my whole body facing down towards the ground, not opening up, okay? That's something that sometimes happens. We'll go 5 on the other side. Slow control, so we can make sure we keep our form nice and tight. I'm hoping you guys are feeling it through your hamstrings and then right up top in your glute. Actually difficult to exercise and constantly talk at the same time. All right, so last one, our glute march on our backs. Again, we're going to bring the heels to our fingertips. That's our start position. I'm going to roll my pelvis under, pick myself up. And from here, one leg up, keep my hips still, back down. Other leg up, keep my hips still, back down. Other leg up, keep my hips still, back down. So there should be no wobbling. We want to work as hard as we possibly can, push ourselves down to the ground and keep these hips nice and stable. We don't want to be dropping our hips either, okay? Push those hips up, back down. Good. Keep yourself stable. Excellent. Now, if you're starting to feel yourself fatigue a little bit, that's good. When you do start to feel it's more challenging, make sure you stay focused and work on keeping those hips nice and still. Cool. So that was the lower body circuit. Now, for your upper body circuit, this is where we're going to use the towel. I'm sure you're all wondering why a towel. Well, I'll show you. You're going to take your towel, open it up like this. Okay, so it's out long ways. I'm going to roll it up. So you should all be doing this with me. Okay, so I've got that. Might give you guys 5 seconds just to roll your towels up. Okay, so from here, now I'm just going to twist a bit, get some more tension into my towel. Cool. So now I've got a nice tensed towel. Now what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to do a couple of upper body movements. Now the goal here is to make sure the towel doesn't dip. Okay, the towel will stay out, so I'm pulling the towel apart. Then I'm going to go into a row position, bent over. I'm going to do 20. Bring the towel to my chest and back down. Towel to my chest, back down. So the goal of this towel is to keep this towel nice and tense. Okay, it's not going to come up like this and start to lose its tension. We want to pull out. Okay, you're going to do 20. 1, 2. I'm reaching all the way down the floor and back up. All the way down the floor and back up. 5, 6, 7. Let me know if my towel starts bending. It's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so you guys are going to do 20 of those, and you guys can let us know in the comments where you felt that. Now, the next thing you're going to do is lying down on the floor, same thing. I'm going to keep this towel nice and straight. I'm going to come down to my chest, to the floor, and back up. Down and back up. I'm pulling this towel apart, making sure it doesn't lose its dip. Okay, so from behind, I don't want to be doing this. Keep that towel nice and tight. Down, to your elbows touch the floor, back up. Down, to your elbows touch the floor, and back up. I'm going to do at least 20 for this. Pulling that towel apart.
I'm hearing a lot of in my arms, my back, my shoulders, and my stomach.
That's good.
That's what
Now,
we want.
let's start with. We want to be pushing this up to about 50. So you'll start to see this towel, although it might seem quite simple, when you really try and pull it apart and make sure it doesn't dip, it can actually be quite challenging. All right, cool. So you can then use your towel to wipe off any sweat, which works as well. Last one, I'm going to be lying face down. I'm going to put my towel behind my neck. Now from here, my position, I've got my whole body on the ground. I'm picking my chest up off the ground just a little bit. I'm going to keep my head up off the ground just a little bit, not too high, not head against the floor. In a nice position here. And again, tongue goes behind the neck. I'm going to go over my head and back down. Keep that towel pulled out. Over my head, back down. Over my head, back down. You guys might find this is the most challenging one. I'm starting to feel it too. So again, behind the neck, press out. You try to press up. Okay? So go down, I press out and up. I want to make sure that towel's not dipping. Okay? Out and up. Out and up. Out and up. Out and up. At this stage, I'm expecting most of you guys to be really feeling the burn. Your goal here is to try and get to 20. Keep that tail tight. Five more. Cool. Oh, I'm feeling a bit sweaty as well. Okay, so that's your upper body workout. If you guys can roughly remember that, you've got the bent over row from here. You've got the floor press when you're lying face up, pressing up like you would a bench press. And you've got the last one, which is behind the neck, lying face down, overhead. Okay? I'm seeing some good comments here. Help. Oh my God.
So from your perspective, how many times a week do you reckon they'd be able to do something like this, and how long for? Or
yeah, so it's a good question actually. When you ask me to write out a workout, the way it usually goes is I'll pick something I can do for this day, and on the other day it'd be the opposites. So today we've done a lot of back type stuff. So then the next session would be your chest sort of work, some shoulder stuff. Today we did some more knee dominant vertical jumping. So the other day would be some horizontal jumping. So if they had this session, you'd do this probably twice a week, and then you'd do the other session, but that would be twice a week as well. Okay, so to give you guys some context, what you've done today is like one list of things. Okay, one sort of, so we've done the more quads, I guess, more vertical type stuff. The next session would be more glutes and hamstrings and more horizontal type stuff. If that
very
makes
nice.
sense.
All right, so if you've got a question, guys, to ask Stubbsy, whack it in the Q&A box. So that's obviously next to the polling.
I'm enjoying this. That's brilliant.
The chicken wings.
Up in these shoulders. I did sort of, to give you guys some rough reps. If you're doing your body weight, try to get up to 25 reps. Then if you can find creative ways to add some load, you know, you can fill up your backpack, your school bag with a lot of books. You can fill it up with shopping. I'm sure when mum or dad comes home with the groceries, you know, just don't walk them straight to the kitchen. Just walk up and back about 10 or 20 times, and that'll be a decent workout.
All right. Well, keep going, sorry.
Yeah, so starting at 20 reps, and when you can do that, 3 to 5 sets. So if you can build up to 5 by 20, then you could start to add some more weight.
Very good. Nathan Pryke has asked, how can we get in contact with Stubbsy to talk about this sort of stuff?
Yeah, it's a good question. So I am on social media as well. You can find me on social media on Instagram. It's _fast bowler. If I write it down.
Have a look at our Insta story as well, guys. We put that up before the start of the session. So if you go into our Insta story, you'll be able to follow Stubbsy.
I don't know if that's very clear.
Yeah.
Is that going to be back to front?
No, that's all right. That works well. They'll know that.
So if you can find me on Instagram, then you can find the Facebook, and you can find the YouTube channel, which is just me voicing over a couple of international bowlers sharing my insights on fast bowling. So if you do have any questions, more than happy to answer them. Just drop me a DM, can help you guys do it. If you don't have Instagram, go to Facebook, The Fast Bowler. I obviously love fast bowling, in case you guys hadn't realised.
Prabhav has asked, how important is technique?
Technique's very important. If I ask you a question back, if you were batting and you were trying to play a straight drive or a pull shot or a cut shot, how important would you say technique is in those kinds of shots? You know, just like if I said fast bowling, if you're bowling with a bad fast bowling technique, putting you at a risk of injury, again, that wouldn't be very good. So technique is very, very important. To put it really simply, if you use the right movement, okay, the right technique, you'll target the right muscles, and then you'll get the right outcome. Okay, if you use the wrong technique, you might start to use the wrong muscles, okay, muscles that you don't want to be necessarily using, and then that will lead to potentially some niggles, which can then build into injuries.
Yeah.
Okay.
Siddharth asked, how can you stay motivated to keep doing workouts?
Motivation's a funny one. I'm going to give you 2 words here. So motivation, but discipline as well. Okay. Now, if you look at the height of the high international cricketers, they might train 14 to 20 times a week. Now, that will include their physical sessions, their skill sessions and whatnot. Now, I'm sure they're going to find it quite challenging to stay motivated for the entire time. But what they do, okay, is they stay disciplined. Okay. They probably tell themselves in this moment, okay, what can you do in this moment right here that will benefit you in the future in your goals? So for me personally, if I have to work out in the morning, I don't want to get out of bed, I might not be motivated to get out of bed. In that moment, I'll ask myself a question and say, Stubbsy, what can you do for yourself right now to help you become a better cricketer? Usually the answer is I can get up and be disciplined and go through. So if you haven't got motivation, then find some discipline.
That answers Krishna's question as well. Do cricketers do this? Absolutely. These are all movements and all relevant for cricket. That's why we got Stubbsy on here to write an exercise. Obviously, you can change these around, as we said, in terms of, there was a guy, where was it? He asked, obviously, can you replace the towel with like dumbbells if they have them at home and everything like that?
Absolutely. So all these exercises a day, the goal is to give you guys an idea of the movement. You can adjust the movement with load. If you have some dumbbells, if you have some barbells, if you have some bands, you can definitely do that. Again, you're more than welcome to hit me up on social media and ask me how you might do that. Being this session, it was more to give you guys an idea of what you can be doing in a session. So if I briefly summarize it, you had some power, some plyometric stuff at the start. We had a lower body sort of circuits and movements. We had an upper body sort of circuits and movements. Okay. So applying that across and how you want to overload it, okay, with what equipment you do have, feel free to hit me up. This would be sort of one of 2 to 3 sessions you do during the week. And just on that, I think the most important thing you can do for your game is to go out and sprint. If there was one tip that I could give you, it'd be sprinting.
Absolutely. High velocity, get the body going at high levels. Is that what you're meaning, or?
Yeah, very important. I don't want to get too sciencey here, and if you want to get deeper into it, feel free to ask me. But speed is something you lose the fastest. Okay, so if I do a speed session 5 days later, I'm going to start to lose very, very small, but I'm going to start to lose that, I guess, effect. And your body, the tendons, the muscles, the joints, they start to lose what you've built up. Okay, so this is an important thing when you look at in season, off season, pre-season, etc. That off season, you need to be doing something. If you build yourself up, but then you stop, you're going to come straight back down to square one, have to build yourself up again. Professional athletes, because they don't stop, they build themselves up and they don't do nothing. They keep going. So they get to continuously develop. So given how important sprinting is, it's something that I would recommend guys do at least once a week.
Perfect. And we'll finish off just with Adam Eastgate's question. If you think you have a weakness, should you just focus on that, or should you still work out the rest of your body as well?
Why not both? You know, I think if I look at it from I have 100% of things that I want to do. I've got a bunch of boxes that I want to tick. 80% of that is going to be things that I need to do overall as an athlete to be better. And the 20% is going to be for me specifically the extra stuff that you're going to put in. So say I've got my program that everybody on here would go and do. At the end of the session, there might be 5-10 minutes, or at the start of the session, of specific work that you would do. Say if you've had a hamstring issue, you'll have some specific things for that. If you have a shoulder issue, you might have some specific things for that. Okay, it's pretty easy to do both. Okay.
Love it. Very good. All right, well, Stubbsy, yeah, thanks very much, mate, for giving up your time. We really do appreciate it. Everyone here has enjoyed it. The comments are off the chain. People on Facebook, everyone's saying that they love it. It's an awesome activity and awesome work. So, yeah, the towel, everyone loved the towel. They said, I think one question asked, how can you make it so hard with a towel? So they were pretty surprised at it. But
one little trick in the toolbox.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, as I said, follow him on Facebook and Instagram. He's a very, very knowledgeable bloke. He knows his biomechanics. He knows how things work within the bowling body, and obviously from a strength and conditioning aspect as well. If you are interested, he's based in Melbourne, but he also would be doing stuff online, obviously, as we do. So hit him up, look him up. Thanks again, Stubbsy, and we will speak soon. Tonight we've got Jason Berendorf on, so we will see you in a couple of hours, 2 hours time. Thanks, guys. Cheers, Stubbsy.